what's happening internet. So I'm living off the grid now for the last month, and obviously I did do my learnings, and I want to tell you about stuff that are fixed up, that I do different now, and that makes my life much more convenient. So if you like the video, please subscribe, and we start out on matches and lighters. So when I first came here, I only had lighters, as overseas you don't really use matches much, and now they all start nice, easy, not a problem at all. But for some reason, sometimes when they're cold, they don't want to start. So you're sitting in here, you want to get the stove going, and you can't. It's just frustrating, and you get pissed off. And I don't like being pissed off. So I obviously got matches, and they always start, and it's just easy. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I sometimes went to bed and I didn't have any firewood for in the morning. So then, when I want to get up, I'm obviously lazy. It's nice and warm under the blanket. In the house maybe it's 10-ish degrees, 10, 12. So yeah, I had struggles to get up. And now I always keep firewood for in the morning. So I just can get up, get out of bed, maybe put some socks on or even sleep with socks. And then, yeah, start the stove first thing in the morning. That's actually something we can do now. There's still a little bit heat in it, that's why it's smoking. And I open the chimney. So, here we go. I don't really need much fire. I just want to have a little bit heat. Come baby. Here we go. I mostly burn birch here. It's just easier. And I got little cut-off pieces from the work the other day. So that baby's going. And then we get more stuff that I learned. Water. If you have to melt water, like if you have to melt snow to get water, and you want to melt it once you need it, it's inconvenient. Maybe I'm sitting, I don't know, on the couch, I watch something, I'm only in boxer shorts. Do I really want to go outside, get snow? And the easiest way to melt water is never actually to lose all water. So you always have a little bit water down on the bottom, maybe a centimeter, like a liter. And you keep that warm, and then you just add snow, and it melts. Because if there's no liquid now down here, it takes forever for getting the pot melted. And for obvious reasons, I put a lid on as well. So I basically have always hot water, and I can have a tea whenever I want to. I usually wear those boots, and sometimes I walk through snow that's higher than the boot. And then the snow falls in there, obviously it will melt, and then I got wet feet. Wet feet means cold feet, but as I'm using wool, and I had them outside, so you can hear it, they're frozen. Yeah, and I use wool, sheep wool, and they still keep you warm even if they're wet. And that's the main benefit here. And as well, they don't get as smelly. And that's always what I wear. I don't wear any other socks than wool. And as well, my underwear here, that's wool as well. Keeps me nice and warm, whatever I do. Even if I go sledding and it's a bit windy, I still keep warm. And yeah, I do appreciate the wool. I'm far up north, that means it's pretty dark in the winter now. And as I don't have the electricity, it would be difficult to actually have enough light in the house. And that's why I use candles. I use those ones outside as I smoke too much. And the ceiling would get dark if I use them inside. And as well, these ones here. So they last 6 hours, I can chuck them wherever I want. They pretty much last me the whole evening. And it just gives that cozy feeling. And it's not as depressing as if you sit in the dark. Point number 7, and that's be good with your neighbor. So being off the grid doesn't mean you don't have a neighbor. That could be 50 meters away or 10 kilometers, but somewhere there will be a person, and we all will sooner or later run into problems. That could be getting stuck with the car, getting a flat tire. The snowmobile breaks down in the middle of the bush, and especially here when it's minus 40, that potentially can be deadly. So if you're good with your neighbor, you can actually call that person up and they will come and help you. Goes the other way around as well. And further, for example, I used paint in the summer this year, last year, we got 2025 now. And I knew I will not be here in the winter at the beginning, so the paint would get below 0, freeze and break down into its parts. So now I gave it to my neighbor, he stored it for me in plus degrees, and I just get it back in the spring and I actually can use it. And the other thing as well, I got a gravel road that gets plowed by the country, by the village, but they always push the snow onto my property, and where I got my garage to drive out, there will be a big pile of snow. And when my neighbor shovels his snow with his tractor, a lot of times he comes by and just pushes me that amount of snow into he clears pretty much my stuff. And then I actually can use the garage and it's easy and convenient for me. I was wrong, this is number 7. And that's always have enough gas. So I got gas here, 20 liters. That's chainsaw oil, chainsaw gas, and that one is snowmobile gas. And that's point number 8. I got a roof here and the snow will fall down the roof. I was unfortunately not here the last time, so it all fell down and then it froze. But if you take the snow shovel and you leave the snow shovel here, it will be just buried by the snow. If I leave the jerry cans in the front of the house, they will be buried. So never leave anything under the roof. There are actually 2 more things that I learned. The one is, whenever I go outside, I put on those boots. And I used to have just the pants in there, because I thought they don't go over on top. The problem is, you do whatever you do, and most likely it's something that you didn't think of you will do. So you get snow in here, the snow will melt, you got wet boots, and to dry those boots takes forever. It takes me days to dry them, no matter how I tried. If I put them too close onto the stove, they just melt, but they don't dry. So now I always have them over on top, so nothing falls in here. And number 10, whatever you use should have a designated spot. As I don't have the most light, I use this one now. It used to be under the hookah, but I actually consider that as a good room light. Change colors as well. Red if you want to have romantic time. Blue, that's cool as well, eh? Or white. But there are a couple of things that I continuously use every day, and I now have them always on a designated spot. Starts from my passport, if I want to pick up a package or something, wallet, SD cards, matches, tools. So everything that I want to use is actually at the same spot, and when it's dark in here, or not as light as in the day, I don't have to search for a retard, I don't get angry, I don't feel like a loser. I just know where it is, I pick it up, I use it, and I put it back to the spot.